It's the motherfucking player haters. Oh, yeah.
Player haters.
It was that kind of week. Yep. I'm just kidding. But I'm not. And then, to add insult to injury, this morning I woke up. I already knew the trade that went down between Shane and I last night, where I sent off newly acquired Rafael Devers. By the way, let me back up. Welcome in, everybody, to fantasy. What the fuck am I talking about? Let me back up again. Apparently, only one cup of coffee is never enough. Welcome in to Obviously It's a Podcast. I'm your host, Casey Dobson. It obviously was that type of week that good old Jim Beam needs to join us on the podcast at fucking 11 o'clock in the afternoon. It's 5 o'clock somewhere, but it's not on this countryside. Anyways, I lost my train of thought because I was on a roll, and now I had to back it up and back it up again. Fuck you, Josh. That's all I'm gonna say. We'll get our matchup. At first, I was like, you know what? I'm going to just blast his ass because it's my fucking podcast and I can say what I want to and I can do what I want to. And at first, I woke up this morning after I grabbed Bryce Eldridge. That's where my train of thought was. I knew this morning that, you know what? I wanted to grab this kid up. I think I already grabbed him up once this year, but I wanted to grab him up and I wanted to put him on my team immediately. I knew I wanted to shop Rafael Devers, so I looked at teams last night when I finally got off work. I sat down and I was like, who needs me? And then I realized Shane, he needed him. And I needed some pitching. So we got to discussing. It went down. I wasn't really happy about giving up Robert Suarez. But I was like, I know who I want. I've been putting this name out there to a few people. Yes, about reaching out to them and saying, hey, grab this guy for me. Let me get him. I'll trade you this person if you grab him off waivers. Yes, that's right. I have realized that I am the same fantasy manager, and I'll explain more in a second about my own personal reflection on me as a fantasy player. I get up this morning and I see Bryce Eldridge still there. All right. Cause I was determined. I told my brain at 3 o'clock, wake up. Well, my brain didn't listen. And first of all, shout out to Christopher Walker. Sir, I don't know if you were up this morning, but the fact that it looks like that all you did was approved Shane and I's trade at 3:16 this morning. Thank you, sir. That is, I hope that you had to get up to take a shit or a piss or something, but that was genuinely nice of you because I think you understand the type of person that I am. I blazed through 4 moves by Monday evening and, you know, I'm fucking itching over here like goddamn crack addict. And if you woke up, you know what? I don't even need to know the truth. You woke up this morning to approve that trade for yours truly and for Shane. But for me, because you knew, you had a belief that this motherfucker's probably going to be sitting there waiting to make moves and just like, come on, approve it. So the fact that you did that, props to you. So you moved down a tier on my fuck you list and Josh takes your place because fuck you, Josh. I'm sitting there and I add Bryce Eldridge. And I knew trading away Robert Suarez, I wanted Didier Fuentes. I start looking it up and I'm like, who am I going to drop? I wanted to maybe give Isaac Paredes one more shot. So I put my phone away. I grab a few extra Z's for a minute. I wake up. Josh has fucking added Didier Fuente. I'm like, dude, this dude's flying under the radar. He had the ability to pick him up. Not once did he do it. And he picks his up. I'm like, God damn it. He fucking just beat my ass with a fucking, I'm trying to think of the word, but he just replaced a third of his damn roster the week that he plays my ass. And then he picks up the one fucking guy, not one, but the one guy I was like, dude, and why I didn't pick him up and drop initially Isak Preddy. I don't know. You know what? I have only myself to blame. Speaking of which, I have only myself to blame. And you know what? Again, Josh, and I know I've spent already 6 minutes on this shit, but I'm telling you, I was so pissed this whole weekend because Josh wanted to be like, baby shat, baby shat, baby shat. Fuck you, motherfucker. You went to your farm system. We all know that's what Jesus is in this fucking league for you, dude. You're like, Casey's got Raye. I gotta have my own. It just speaks to how you two like orientate with each other. I'm just kidding. Love you both. Never met Jesus in my life. He's a good trader. But I'm going to tell you, Jesus, personally, I'm offended. I have offered you for weeks some good ass shit for that Contreras. And then all of a sudden, you just like, I don't even know who he traded. Bryce Terang? Okay. Again, going back, I picked that dude up when he came into the league. And that dude was dog shit. And now all of a sudden he's like one of the best second basemen in the league. Okay. But whatever, man. You go out there, you add Wilson Contreras, he hits you 2 home runs. But again, let me back up. Casey, yes, you have yourself to blame. Well, fuck you, Casey. No, fuck you. Yes, I have myself to blame. I traded away Juan Soto. That dude hit 3 home runs for Eric, I think, this weekend. And I would have, I believe, at least won a category or 2 or something. I don't know. But Bo Bichette, first of all, the vitriol that you guys have for this kid is kind of like, what are you talking about? The dude has a beautiful batting average. And if I'm not mistaken, I wish that I had the brain capacity to remember all the conversations that Walker has thrown out there about Bo Bichette, because I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, the dude was on your team last year. You know what? I can look that shit up. Rally Monkeys last year. Let's look at his roster, shall we? Willie Adames, Kerry Carpenter. Okay, you didn't have him on your team that year. But let me just, I'm going back in time here, obviously, and I wanted to see, because I'm pretty sure I remember one, Christopher Walker having Bo Bichette on his team and just speaking nothing but high praise about this kid. Maybe not then either. At some point, I'm almost positive you've had him. I can't remember when. I'm pretty sure that maybe it was when he got brought up to the league, you grabbed him up. I'm going back 2023 season. Let's keep going. Yeah, that's right. This might be the longest podcast because I have no qualms with, going back in time. Always. Just, dude, he didn't even have, but going back to 2023, he didn't even have a bench bat. Again, 2023, he stopped at utility. He didn't even have a bench bat. Talking about you, Walker. Do. Again, nope, hasn't had him then. I might be wrong. Again, another year, 2022, he had 1 bench bat. We are just picking up on a trend with this dude. 2022, no bench bat. I'm on the IL to hell, second place. He did not make the playoffs that year. Wow. All right. Look at that. Rally monkeys. Damn. And then that year you had a fuckload of batters. Kevin Biggio, Gleyber Torres, Suarez. No Bo Bichette. All right, man. I mean, I'm going to go back one more year just to try to prove this point I've got, but it's not working out for me. I swear I thought I remember you just singing this kid's praises, grabbing him up, rubbing him in our faces, saying, ha ha ha, I got him. You didn't. Nope. I went back. I said I'd go back one year. I went back one more year. Nope. And I don't know when Bo Bichette came into the league, so it might have not even been 2020, but whatever. All right. Well, sorry. Sorry I wasted everybody's time for that. But anyways, you guys' vitriol towards this kid, it's kind of funny. I don't know if it's like, calculated and y'all are like, hey, texting each other, let's fuck with Casey about this guy. But anyways, I have spent way too much time on this matchup. I wanted to try to turn it over and be like, whatever, but it is what it is, man. You traded, you got the results that you wanted, and whatever. Week 12 came and went. Let me point something out really quick. I wrote this down. Outside of just the tie that took place between Raye and Walker this week, every single matchup that in week 1 was a win for one team, well, we all lost. That probably didn't make much sense. Every team that won in week 1, outside of the tie that took place, the loser of week 1 won this week. How's that? And for some of us, myself included, if you're reading the chat, affected the tiebreaker. Because, like I've pointed out, this is still anybody's season. And that was big. I beat Josh 7-3. He beat me 8-3. So obviously, this is that's big. It's big. If comes down to a tie, and we've seen it in very recent years, Shane Walker tie at the last game of the season, and it went Walker's way. I'm not saying that Josh and I will face off against each other. Who knows? Hi, Raye. Talk about Raye. All right, real quick. Well, let's go ahead and recap that matchup. Walker ends up getting a complete game, and I wrote down, Mizorowski, this kid. Like, my eyes are going to be glued to his next matchup, and I'll try to remember to see when that's actually coming up and mention it, because I'm going to be watching, because Josh Walker always is just every time that one of our pitchers does something like this, there's always a, yeah, but guess what's going to happen? He's going to fuck up and you're going to be mad. But with Mizorowski, it's, oh, God. Oh, he's just the best pitcher ever. Yeah, okay, whatever. Anyways, sorry for the dramatics. He gets a complete game. We call this the wild card. He gets one. And Raye says, I don't fucking care. I got 2 more wins than you, bitch. He won every single pitching category. Again, they were very close. 1 quality start, 1 save plus hold. But she gets 4 wins to his 2. He gets the wild card. And she still ties his ass. Why? Because she put up 14 home runs, 39 RBIs, 5 stolen bases, a batting average of 333 to his 215, a 397 OBP to his 286. And they tied in runs. She almost beat you, and you got the wild card. So is it as wild? I mean, without that wild card, you lose, sir. But again, that's why we call it the wild card and why it is what it is. But you would have lost. And therefore, the whole week 1, week 12 retribution, that would have been solidified for every single team. But I consider this somewhat retribution, although I think you clearly will still hold the tiebreaker. And I say this because, again, like I mentioned, Ray's not out of this shit either. But yeah, I thought that was, one run, one run for her, and would have been a different story for you, sir. And that wild card wouldn't have been so wild. So, look, I'm not going to bring it up either. Okay, so you're doing this without a catcher. Whatever, dude. Whatever. I mean, you kept it relatively close, but let's go ahead and air this out too. All right. You got most of your production from a guy named Zach Geloff. If you had a Rocky, a Brewer, or an Athletics for last week, and you're sitting there and you're jerking, and you're thinking, this is it. Well, fuck all of y'all for thinking that shit, for not at least understanding that, much like the year when Toronto couldn't play during the COVID shit and they had to come down here to Dunedin. I remember because we went down there. Walker, I believe you were there with us to watch a baseball game. The numbers were inflated for that entire season. And if I remember correctly, I'm pretty sure I'm right, Bo Bichette was on that team. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. was definitely there. This was an inflated week. And you're sitting there tooting your own horn like, see, Zach Geloff, look at my roster. No, I don't give you credit for playing at a Little League park for an entire week straight. I mean, the fucking Rockies put up 23 runs last night. Now, what's kind of crazy is it appeared that the Athletics didn't really check in and exploit this massive amount. Like, they played Milwaukee on the 8th and they put up 14 runs, and Milwaukee put up 15. And then they won 7-5, 4-3. They won 6-4. I mean, we're talking about a trend here. 7-5, and then another blowout for Colorado, 23-9. And also, which I mean, Zach Geloff didn't have that big of a game that last night. They were doing shit off of position player, which I think that shit should be outlawed. It's so fucking aggravating. I won't get on that soapbox, but 23-9. So relatively, outside of Sunday and Monday's matchup, or Tuesday, whatever that day was, the scores are relatively like baseball. But from what I read during that is that in that series in Vegas, 102 runs were scored, which am I wrong? Is my math off? That doesn't look like 102. Maybe it is, because that 23-9, 7-5, maybe it is. Yeah, 15, 14, so that'd be 39, right? Yeah, because 15, 15 is 30. So no, 29. I suck at math. Shit. 29, and maybe it is. Anyways, I don't know. I didn't add it up. I just pulled it up. 136 hits, 35 home runs. Come on now. If you think that, if you walked away from there, like I saw last night that Mandalorians left Willie Castro on the bench. Come on. Like, all of us are, nobody's out there running after, beating down Scott's door. Like, hey, Scott, you want to trade that guy who hasn't hit a fucking home run in forever or had stats like that? I mean, yeah, okay, so he hit a home run back on June 2nd. The dude was like an absentee, and then he has a fucking 3 runs, 2 home runs, 7 RBI night. Again, who was he hitting those off of? Come on. Nobody's, whatever. Inflated bullshit. Anyways, moving on. 6-6 tie. Proud of Raye, giving you the business. Byron Buxton had a big week. James Wood, another big week. She's got some outfielders. As long as those 3 dudes stay healthy. Watch out. Again, like I mentioned, she's not out by any stretch of the imagination. We all know, Bryce Elder, he sucks dick. Why, I guess they were just going to milk that cow as long as they could. Like, he's getting shit done. He's having that year again. And then it's like, no, he's not. He never has. Let's talk about another matchup here. Speaking of Scott, Shorty got low. We got to change that name, bro, because he ain't on your team no more. Nick, if you're out there, I doubt you are. You got to change that name because he is not on your team. And I will not. I'm just going to call you Shorty Got because I can't give you the last low because you don't have him no more. You traded him away. And from Florida to St. Louis, fuck you, bitch. Cost me a week, bitch. 16 home runs. I've been saying it, and I'll keep saying it. Scott's team. Watch out. This dude is trouble. And he's, again, Jackson Chourio. Holy shit. Again, Jackson Chourio. Part of that week. Okay? And again, just for context sake, when he's playing the Athletics, first day, 3 for 5, 3 runs. Next day, home run, 2 RBIs. Next day, home run. And then he plays Philly. Okay, 2 home runs in 1 game. So, but it's Jackson Chourio. He's a pretty good outfielder. But this dude's got a pretty good shit. Now, I don't know how this happened. And let me go ahead and give context here. And Scott, if he ever watches or wants to back me up, I reached out to Scott earlier in the week. I've been wanting Bo Bichette for a while. I reached out to him. I said, hey, any chance Bo Bichette's available? His response, when Jacob Wilson comes back. The next day, or I asked him, I said, hey, what do you need? He said, I could use some outfield. I said, all right. So then I said, you know what? I already know what outfielder I want to toss your way. Here he is. I put the trade in and said, if this is suitable, whenever you're ready. I had no expectation that he was going to hit accept. None. I thought Brent Rooker was going to be on my team. I researched when Jacob Wilson was coming back. It did say that he would probably be back around Friday or the weekend. So I put it out there whenever the trade between him and I were made. I sent it. He accepted. I did not expect that Bo Bichette would even be on my team. It didn't cost him the week. It would have given him, if he even played him, it would have even blew up the numbers even more. He lost by 10 runs, so it didn't cost him the week. But again, I did not know that Brent Rooker was going on the IL. No clue. He was healthy the day I traded him. The next day he sits. The next day he's put on the IL. I don't know why I'm mentioning all this. I just wanted to put it out there that there was a discussion. I put the trade on there. I said, whenever you're ready. I knew that it probably wouldn't be until Jacob Wilson actually came back. So I wasn't expecting to have Bo Bichette even play. But Shorty got low. Well, Shorty got beat Mandalorians 7-5. And that was, I would think that Nick would probably say this is not a bounce back week, but it's a win regardless. And like I said earlier, it's revenge for week 1. And he got it. But still, Scott's team putting up big numbers. I say big. 16 home runs and all you get is 39 RBIs. But still, I'll take it. I would take that shit. So, 7-5. Let's talk about the other matchup. Little in-house matchup. Father-son. Show me your Tatis is trying to get out of there. Again, I get that he may like Fernando Tatis, but don't you kind of need the player on your team to be called that? I mean, you're a big Yankee fan. Can you not incorporate maybe the Yankees into your... I mean, I get that you're trying to be funny. You're a kid and you want to see titties, and we get it. But, I'm just fucking with you, Ashton. Congrats on your win, kid. I mean, were you two competing for the highest ERA of the week? I mean, obviously you won the high low, 5.30. Um, 6 wins, 12 home runs, 40 RBIs. I can tell you your dad was super pissed off that every time it looked like something was going his way yesterday, you got something else. But solid numbers from all the people that you have on your roster. Matt Chapman, nobody saw a resurgent. Well, I didn't, anyways. Ian Happ, Rafael or Cedena Rafaela, doing good things for you. Um, yeah, so keep your head up, bud. You're doing all right. 8-4. You beat your dad. Bragging rights for at least a week, walking around the house. And I think you beat me last week too, right? Yes. Right? Yes. 7-4. So look at that. I mean, you're taking down veterans. So, and I'm sure your dad probably isn't accepting of the loss as he probably should be, which is fine. Agents of Chaos beat Troubleshooters. He probably would have lost had Wilson Contreras stayed on the team. Just saying. Maybe not. Not really. 32-19. I mean, it would have been close, but yeah, this was still a relatively close match. Well, I say close. It was a good matchup, but it was a big win for Brian. Um, because Jesus was ranked fifth, I think. So, sorry, y'all probably seen what I just did there. I needed to clear my throat. Um, Brian's getting some good ass stats from some unlikely people. I mean, I had Jake Bowers on my team, and again, I going back to what I was saying about myself and how I look at myself. I got to be more patient. I mean, I might just never be because Jake Bowers was on my team. I dropped his ass. Noel V. Marte, who produced for what's his nuts, Shorty got dropped his ass. I mean, it's so funny. Um, but yeah, he's getting like good stats from like Stephen Kolek. Uh, Yamamoto had a really good week. Picked up Roop, traded him away. And yeah, everybody's like, oh, Raye dropped his ass. That was stupid. Yeah, okay. Look at that matchup. All right. So, whatever. 9-3 to the victor go the spoils of Brian. I'm going to try to see if I can't blaze through this. Last but not least, let's talk about Shane. 9-3, taking down Jason, Tortured Baseball Department. He had a big week. Big week. Tyler Soderstrom, again, another name. Yes, he is good, but watch out there, Shane, because inflated. Ivan Herrera's starting to come around for him. He's got a solid team. Again, Mookie Betts, Shohei Ohtani, Corbin Carroll, pretty solid. He just added recently, or today, as a matter of fact, Rafael Devers. I'm sure he's going to do big things for you. He didn't do anything for Josh, and he gave me a home run. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, just looking at the time clock here, people, I am going to extend this past 30 minutes. I don't mind at all. Not that, whatever. But Shane, things are looking up for him. And he's got some pitchers that are fixing to come back. Brandon Woodruff, Shane Bieber. It's like Shane gets hit a little bit by the injury bug. He loses Vinny Pasquantino. That one with Eric is probably still just biting him in the ass, where he felt like Pete Alonso was not going to be shit in Baltimore, and now Pete's turning it around. Speaking of which, I'll reflect a little bit on Eric's team. I mean, we all need to watch out. Take notice. Yes, he lost last week, but he has got some names. Jonathan Aranda, Junior Caminero, fuck. Jeremy Pena, Jordan Walker, Juan Soto now, Michael Garcia, Ernie Clement, Pete Alonso, Christian Yelich. He knows he's got a roster of bats. I'm not convinced of his pitching, though. I mean, Jose Soriano, he thought, I struck gold. Okay. He gave us something in the beginning, nothing now. But he's fixing to get Hunter Green back. He's got Nathan Eovaldi. That's about where I draw the line. Guys, I'm going to stop this and then finish it up. So I'll be right back. Whenever I have a bad week in fantasy, I reach for the only thing that I know that can help cure Jim Beam Vanilla. Jim Beam is actually one of the best brands out there for whiskey that's kind of cheap, and it helps drown all your fantasy sorrows. So next time when you lose to a motherfucker that, trades his way to a victory and counts it as top quality, reach for Jim Beam and wash away all that bullshit. Jim Beam. Me and Jim Beam. We're champions in our own minds. Fuck, I hate losing. Quit acting like a bitch. Fuck you! She's right. Welcome back in, guys. Hope you enjoyed that little whatever the fuck that shit was. Let's talk about this week. Let's move on to week 13. Again, this is now, we're in the second half of the season. We are rapidly approaching playoffs. And I want to remind everybody what I've been saying. You are not out yet. And if you're in, you better make some damn trades every week to make sure you win to stay in. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to let it go, Josh. Not this week anyways. Let's talk about it. Rally Monkeys is still sitting atop the league, number one. And for whatever reason, you get to be the number one waiver wire. This is some bullshit. I think if you're number one and have been, you shouldn't be getting the number one waiver wire. Not that there's a lot out there that's, being dropped at whatever, but still, that's not fair. Fuck out of here. That's bullshit. Anyways. Rally Monkeys is number one, 3.5 game lead over Scott. Game and a half over Benchwarmers is Scott. So a game and a half back. Myself is now 3 games back from the trade wins. The newly rejuvenated, I'm the best, top quality Josh. Myself, 4th place. Tied with me is Jason. And 2 games back from us is Jesus. A game and a half back from Jesus is Brian. 3.5 games back from Brian is, I don't know why I drew a blank on your name, Eric. Eric. 1 game back from Eric is Shane. Half a game back from Shane is Raye. Shorty got is 3 games back from Raye and 1 game back from Nick is Ashton. So let me put this into perspective for you. Guys, again, I suck at math. 10.5 games back from 6th place is Ashton. 10.5 games. That could be 1 big week or 2 big weeks, which he's had back to back. Talking about Ashton. Telling you, nobody's out yet. And if anything from last week is a reflection, the teams down at the bottom to the teams that are at the top, better watch out. Week 2 went like this. Myself and Brian, we tied. Shane and Rally Monkeys tied. Benchwarmers and Eric, 7-5 in favor of Josh. Shorty got beat Show Me Your Tatis. And again, this was when Ashton was not the manager. Shorty got won 10-3. Scott lost to Jason 9-2, and Raye lost to Jesus 7-5. That's just a week 2 recap. So now looking ahead at week 13, clearly the matchups are still the same. Myself will face off against Brian in hopes that maybe we still tie. Brian, please don't beat me, and I won't beat you. Or maybe I will. I don't know. Probably not. Anyways, Shane will face off against Walker. Josh will face off against Eric. Nick will face off against now Ashton. At the time, it was not him. Scott will face off against Jason, and Raye will face off against Jesus. So this is a co-matchup of the week, and I think at week 2, I still did the same thing. I love when Walker and Shane face off against each other. Matchup number 1 of the week, and Josh against Eric. Matchup number 2, because I know how Josh just loves to say Dobsoning and I beat your cousin and all this other bullshit. So this will be a good matchup to watch as well. But I'm also watching with a little bit of intrigue, Ashton versus Nick, because these two are the bottom feeders. So, a big matchup between these two, a big score, if anything, can get these guys kind of propelling towards the top. So we shall see how this entire week goes. So I give you guys the standings. I gave you guys the matchup of the week. I talked at nauseum. The injury bug too, man. Just seeing that Spencer Strider, there are just a few names on that Braves lineup that you're just like, as a Braves fan, it's probably time to maybe shop them around. I like Spencer Strider. It's kind of crazy that Raye and I was at the game when he went out and got injured. I want to say it was 2022, pitching first game in Atlanta. It wasn't the opening game, but it was the first game in Atlanta that year, and he leaves. And then we ended up winning on a walk-off, and I wasn't there to witness that, and neither was Raye. It was cold that night. Anyways, Jose Ramirez goes down. Ooh, that sucks. Sucks for baseball, but it just sucks for, it sucks for Nick, but Shorty got got it out of there in a loss. So I think I've taken up way too much of you guys' time with bullshit, my bullshit soapbox. I can't really think about much more to talk about, and just outside of fantasy baseball. That UFC match went down last night. I didn't watch 1 minute. I got to tell you guys, I'm so out of touch with UFC. I couldn't tell you who's fighting. I don't even know. Was Joe Rogan there? Did he call the fights? I don't know. I have no clue. I know it was a big deal. I know it was outside. I heard that there might have been some weather. I don't know. There was clouds in the area, but I guess it went off without a hitch. The World Cup's going on. I don't even know where that's happening, but I think I read that you guys said it was happening here in America, or people are over here. I didn't know that. That's cool. Hockey. Who won? I think it was Game 6 last night. Don't know. I know the Mets. Oh, wait. I know the Knicks won. I thought I followed basketball, but I did not know that. Maybe call me crazy. I don't think I remembered that they had 2 New York teams. Is that right? The Brooklyn Nets. I thought I watched basketball enough to know the teams. I would have lost that trivia. I'm like, the Brooklyn Nets? I didn't know they had 2 teams. So, and I might even be wrong. Do they have 3? Anyways. When does football season come back? It's June, July, August. August? Isn't that right? That's when Yahoo just really sucks at maintaining shit. What else can we talk about? Do we even want to talk anymore? Do you guys want me to go? Do you want me to go? Just take a deep breath. I am kind of hungry. It's lunchtime. I had a liquid lunch apparently, some Jim Beam. So, all right. Well, Josh, good luck on this week, and may you trade your way to another victory. Fuck off. Y'all have a good week. Take it easy. Goodbye. Quit acting like a bitch. Fuck you!
Ooh.
It's the motherfucking player. Hey.